Okay, what we're going to do in this lesson is we're going to take each position of the primary seventh chords and we're going to play them through all 12 keys. Now these are going to be drop 2 voicings. Okay, so let's start out with the root position of C major 7. So root position of C major 7, that's right here. We're going to be doing all these on strings 1, 2, 3, and 4, what I call the top set of strings. Okay, so the intervals for this chord are 1, 5, 7, 3. Right? So we got C, G, B, E. Okay, so now we're going to convert this to dominant seventh. Alright, so now we have 1, 5, flat 7, 3. Okay, now we're going to go to the minor 7, and this is 1, 5, flat 7, flat 3, and then we're going to go to minor 7, flat 5. 1, flat 5, flat 7, flat 3. And in addition, let's go to the diminished 7th. So with the diminished 7th, we're going to have to flatten the 7 on the minor 7, flat 5 to a double flat 7. Okay, in this case, it's an A or B double flat, and that is like so. So we got 1, flat 5, double flat 7, and flat 3. Okay, so that's what we're going to do with each position here, and we're going to take it through all 12 keys. So right now we are with the root position of the chord. So let's move on to F major 7 with the root position. Okay. And so now you know what the intervals are, but you want to be thinking about them all the time, okay? And I'll just call out the chord types. So we got F major 7, then we want F dominant 7th, F minor 7, F minor 7 flat 5, and then F diminished 7th. Okay, now we're going to go to B flat. We got B flat major 7, B flat dominant 7, B flat minor 7, B flat minor 7 flat 5, B flat diminished 7th. Alright, now we're going to go to E flat major 7, E flat dominant 7th, E flat minor 7, E flat minor 7 flat 5, E flat diminished 7th. Make sure that you're keeping track of your intervals. Okay, now we're on A flat major 7, A flat dominant 7, A flat minor 7, A flat minor 7 flat 5, and then diminished 7th. Alright, now we're on D flat major 7. Okay, then we have dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and diminished 7th. Alright, now we move on to G flat major 7, G flat dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and diminished 7th. We got B major 7, B dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7th. Alright, now we want E major 7, and then E diminished 7th, or excuse me, dominant 7, sorry, and then E minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and then diminished 7th. Okay, then we want A major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7th. D major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7th. Then G major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and then lastly diminished 7th. Okay, All right, now we want to do the same thing with the first inversion drop 2, okay? So if we go to C major 7, first inversion, our intervals are 3, 7, 1, 5, okay? The notes E, B, C, G. All right, 3, 7, 1, 5. You want to memorize that. Okay. All right, so we're going to start with major 7, C major 7, and then we've got dominant 7. Okay, and then minor 7, and then minor 7 flat 5, and then diminished 7th. Okay, you know what? Let's walk through that one more time, okay, and talk about the interval. So we got 3, 7, 1, 5. Okay, for dominant 7, we got 3 flat 7, 1, 5. Then minor 7, we have flat 3, flat 7, 1, 5. Minor 7, flat 5, we got flat 3, flat 7, 1, flat 5. And then diminished 7th, we have flat 3, double flat 7, 1, and flat 5. Okay, we're going to do this for each key. All right, so now let's go to F major 7 and do that. So we have F major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7th. All right, moving on to B flat major 7, and then B flat dominant 7th. Then we have minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7th. Now if I'm going a little bit fast for you, you know, stop the video obviously and then regroup, get it down, and then continue. Okay, so I think I went too fast for myself. Which one was I on? B flat. Okay, now we're on E flat. E flat major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7th. Then A flat major 7, whoops, sorry, A flat major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7th. Okay, D flat major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7th. We want G flat major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, then diminished 7th. Then we move on to B major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7th. Alright, then we want E major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7th. Then A major 7, then dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and diminished 7th. Okay, then we have D major 7. Alright, dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and diminished 7th. Lastly, G major 7. We have G dominant 7th, and then G minor 7, G minor 7 flat 5, and then G diminished 7th. Alrighty, now we are going to move on to the second inversion. Okay, so the second inversion for C major 7 is right here, and this is 5 1 3 7. 5 1 3 7. Okay, so for dominant 7th, you know, you just flat the 7, so we're going to have 5 1 3 flat 7, and then minor 7. Okay, we're going to flat the 3, so we're going to have 5 1 flat 3 flat 7. Okay, and then minor 7 flat 5, we're going to flat the 5, flat 5, 1, flat 3, flat 7, and then diminished 7th, we're going to flat the 7th again to give us the double flat 7. So that will be flat 5, 1, flat 3, and double flat 7. Okay? Alright, so now let's move on to F. So we have F, the second inversion here, then dominant 7th, then minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, then diminished 7th. Alright, then we've got B flat major 7. Then we have B flat dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and diminished 7th. We have E flat major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7th. Then A flat major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7th. Then D flat major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7th. We have G flat major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7th. Then B major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, then diminished 7th. Then E major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and then diminished 7th. We have A major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7th. Then D major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7th. Lastly, G major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7th. Okay, now lastly we've got the third inversion. Okay, so the third inversion drop 2 is 7, 3, 5, 1. In this case it's B, E, G, C. Okay, 7, 3, 5, 1. Alright, so for dominant 7 we got to drop the 7, so we got flat 3, flat 7, 3, 5, 1. Flat 7, 3, 5, 1. Then for minor 7 we are going to flat the 3, so we got flat 7, flat 3, 5, and 1. Then diminished 7th, we got flat 7, flat 3, flat 5, and 1. And I meant to say minor 7, flat 5, sorry. Minor 7, flat 5 again is flat 7, flat 3, flat 5, 1. Then diminished 7th is double flat 7, flat 3, flat 5, and 1. Okay, so that takes care of C. Now let's move on to F. So we have F major 7. Okay, dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and diminished 7th. Okay, now we're going to B flat major 7, B flat dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and then diminished 7th. Okay, now we got E flat major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and diminished 7th. Okay, and that was E flat. Now we want A flat major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and diminished 7th. Alright, then we've got D major 7, excuse me, D flat major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and diminished 7th. Alright, then we've got G flat major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7th, minor 7 flat 5, and then diminished 7th. Now we have B major 7. Alright, then dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, then diminished 7th. Okay, then E major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and diminished 7th. Then we have A major 7, A dominant 7th, A minor 7, A minor 7 flat 5, then A diminished 7th. Okay, then we have D major 7, D dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and diminished 7th. Lastly, we have G major 7, G dominant 7th, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and diminished 7th. Okay. So what you want to do is take that exercise and also apply it to the other group of 4 strings. So, you know, strings 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then lastly 3, 4, 5, 6. Been a long day. Anyway, let's see here. What else? You know, what you could do as another exercise once you become fluent with this is take a tune like Stella by Starlight, for instance. I like to use that tune because it's a Swiss Army knife of a tune, or just like a gymnasium of a tune, because it has every primary chord type. You know, you've got the major 7, dominant 7, minor 7 flat 5, and you can use the diminished 7th as a substitution for the dominant 7 flat 9. So for example, to clarify that, you know, in Stella by Starlight, for example, one of the chords is A7 flat 9. So if we were to play an A7 here, right here, okay. So to make it, to use diminished 7th, simply all we have to do is take the root, in this case it's A of the dominant 7th, and we raise it up to the flat 9 or the flat 2. And when we do that, we create a diminished 7th. So you know, so that's going to give us our flat 9, and then we see our 5th is here, and then our flat 7 and our 3rd. Are we missing the root? Yes, but that's okay. It's not necessary. Okay, so you can use diminished 7th as a substitution for dominant 7 flat 9. Just remember to take the root of the dominant and move it up a half step. So why don't we take a look at the changes of minor 7 flat 5 and, of Stella by Starlight, and to see like how you would apply, how you would do this exercise. And you would basically take the changes, okay, and you would play them locally in one area of the guitar. So let's say that we wanted to stay generally around what I would call first position, if you will. You know, within these few frets, 4 or 5 frets. So the first chord in Stella by Starlight is E minor 7 flat 5. Okay, so we'll grab it right here. All right. The next chord is A7 flat 9. Now, A7 flat 9 is, we can use the diminished 7th chord, which would be A sharp or G flat diminished 7th, and it's also E diminished 7th, because every note in that chord is its own root. Every note in the diminished 7th chord can be its own root. So, you know, when you have these minor 2/5s, for instance, E minor 7 flat 5 to A7 flat 9, really easy way to think about it is E minor 7 flat 5 going to E diminished 7th. So when it goes to that 5 chord, the same root that you used for the 2 will also be used for the 5, and it will be diminished 7th. And voila, that's like a shortcut, if you will, and it sounds great. Okay, so we got E minor 7 flat 5 to E diminished 7th, okay, which is the substitution for A7 flat 9. Then it goes to C minor 7, okay. Here's our C, so we know we use first inversion, C minor 7. Then we're going to go to F7, right? So here's our F, right? So we're going to use a third inversion on that. And then it goes to F minor 7. Then from F minor 7 it's going to go to B flat 7. Okay, and notice how I'm staying local here. I'm trying to stay as close to this general location, or our starting point, if you will. So B flat 7. Then it's going to go to E flat major 7. Whoops, sorry, E flat major 7 right here, root position. Okay, from E flat major 7 it's going to go to A flat 7. Okay, and then from A flat 7 it will go to B flat major 7. Alright, and then from B flat major 7 you've got the quick change E minor 7 flat 5 to E diminished 7th, or A7 flat 9. Okay, then it goes to D minor 7, so I can grab D minor 7 here, root position. Okay, then from D minor 7 you're going to have a quick change of B flat minor 7, so I'm going to grab second inversion, B flat minor 7, to E flat 7. Then after E flat 7 it's going to go to F major 7. Then it goes back to a quick change of E minor 7 flat 5 to E diminished 7th. Then it goes to A minor 7 flat 5. There's my A. So grab a second inversion. And then it goes to D7 flat 9. That's a 2/5 in G harmonic minor. A minor 7 flat 5 to D7 flat 9. So I can just simply think A minor 7 flat 5 to A diminished 7th. See, works great. From there we go to G7 sharp 5. I could grab that right here, because you know this is a G dominant 7th, right? And so a G7 sharp 5, I just raised my 5, the 5th of the chord, G7 sharp 5, and then it goes to C minor 7. I can grab that here. Alright, that's the first inversion. Alright, then it's going to go to A flat 7. Grab second inversion right there, and then B flat major 7. Then we've got E minor 7 flat 5 to A7 flat 9, which is also E diminished 7. Then it goes to D minor 7 flat 5, so I can grab that here, and then to G7 flat 9, but I can play D diminished 7th as a sub, as I talked about earlier. Then it goes to C minor 7 flat 5 to F7 flat 9, but I can play C diminished 7th as a sub, which is this. Then lastly, B flat major 7. Okay, so that's the idea, is to take the changes of a tune, and we took Stella by Starlight, and just play it in one localized position. And then after that you would go to the next position. And what do I mean the next position? Well, you know how we started right here with E minor 7 flat 5? So the next time around, when you play through all the changes, start here. Start with the first inversion. and play all the chord changes, you know, in that following position. So you don't want to duplicate anything you did down here. You want to go to the subsequent inversion and so on. Next time around, you would start here and play all the changes around that location. Okay, this is second inversion of E minor 7 flat 5, and then the next time around, play it all in this location right here. This is a third inversion of E minor 7 flat 5. And then lastly, I would duplicate up here what you did down here initially. So you're just doing everything up an octave. Okay, and that'll thoroughly work out the top set of strings. Then you would want to do that on the middle set and the low set, and by that time you should know your stuff, right? If you can get that down, play it with a backing track in time. So hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and thank you.